powerful force that continues to shape India's global technology presence, its diaspora. Across geographies, Indian professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders have built strong network, opened new markets, and carried forward both capability and credibility. What makes this particularly interesting is how these connections are now becoming more structured, where engagement is intentional. This session titled Diaspora Connect, Powering India's Tech Across Borders. To begin the session, I'd like to invite someone who would also guide us through this discussion and take the proceedings forward. He's actively involved in building and strengthening international connections. May I please request once again Mr. Manish Gupta, Secretary and International Coordinator, PIO-CCI, to please join us on stage. An enthusiastic round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he joins us on stage and takes the proceedings forward. Welcome, Mr. Manish.
That's okay. Good morning, everyone. Very happy to finally have a session. It's in collaboration with Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council, ESC, that PIO, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has a partnership and MOU for many years. We participated in both India and abroad conferences, and of course this is a very important part of digital transformation of India and the world. First, I'd like to welcome on stage Sri Sham Parandaji, our patron, Professor Rajkumar Bhatia ji, our patron, Dr. Aditya Jha, the President of PIO-CCI, Mr. Kirti Sharma, the Secretary General of PIO-CCI. Someone we are missing here who is our partner and host, but he will join us shortly, is Mr. Gurmeet Singh, the CEO and Executive Director of ESC, but he will join us shortly. This is an extended session, and I'll tell you why. Because of this growing partnership between ESC and PIO-CCI, now we have a large interest in cooperation, collaboration between ESC and PIO-CCI, and due to which, even at short notice, and while this conflict is going on in the Middle East, a lot of our members and eminent digital transformation leaders have traveled from around the world to be a part of this discussion, this expo, this summit, and we'll be hearing shortly from all of them. But before we begin that, let me set the stage. My friend did mention our role, and I would just like to add very briefly that the diaspora leaders in technology and innovation are today going to discuss existing and intended collaborations with India. So our Indian partners are most welcome, and our international partners are most welcome to listen to them, to talk to them after this session and forge collaborations. All the members who have come here of PIO-CCI, whether they live in India or overseas, are in their own rights trailblazers and pathmakers. They speak from vast experience and expertise. An outcome of this session is to create synergies and opportunities. With those brief words, because the clock started ticking right in front of me again, I would like to welcome Mr. Kirti Sharma, the Secretary General of PIO-CCI, to deliver brief opening welcome remarks.
Namaste to all. Respected, esteemed members of the PIO-CCI, distinguished guests and dear friends. It is both an honor and privilege for me as the Secretary General of PIO-CCI to welcome all of you on this important and inspiring gathering. PIO-CCI was founded and PIOCC was founded with a clear and powerful vision to connect, empower, and elevate the global and Indian diaspora. Today, as we come together from different parts of the world, we are not merely individuals or professionals, we are a collective force of ideas, enterprise, innovation, and cultural strength. The theme of today's session, Connecting Global Indians, Empowering Global Impact, perfectly reflects our mission of the PIOCCI. It highlights the immense potential that lies in bringing together Indian minds across the world and transforming the connections into meaningful global influence, be in the trade, technology, policy, or social development. The Indian diaspora is one of the most successful and influential communities globally, from driving innovation in technology to shaping global trade, from contributing to academia to leading multinational corporations, and our presence is impactful, respected, and inspiring. However, the true strength of global community lies in collaboration. PIOCC aims to serve as a bridge between nations, a bridge between opportunities, and the most important, a bridge between the people. Though initiatives such as global networking platform, trade and facilitation knowledge in exchanges, and strategic partnerships, we are committed to creating meaningful opportunities for our members and strengthening the ecosystem of global enterprises. PIOCC really focusing on the Tier 2 or Tier 3, the medium and the small scale industries entrepreneurs. As you know, sometimes this is the force behind where the Indian diaspora across the world is engaged. At the time when the world is witnessing rapid geopolitical and economic transformations, the role of the diaspora becomes even more significant. Today's session is not just an event, it is the step forward in strengthening our shared vision. It is an opportunity to engage, to exchange the ideas, and to collaborate mutual growth and the collective success. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to all our partners, especially ESC, organizers participating who have made this gathering possible. Let us use the platform to build lasting relationships, explore new possibilities, and contribute meaningful to global economy as proud member of the Indian diaspora. With these words, I once again extend my warm welcome to all of you. Thank you, and I wish you a highly engaging and fruitful session ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kirtiji. May I now request Sri Shyam Parande. He is not just a mentor and a patron of PIOCCI, but has given us the vision, the mission for the last 23 years that PIOCCI has been in existence. And very proud to say that most recently, last October, we have a full secretariat that functions out of the diplomatic enclave at the Ashoka Hotel now. So please welcome Shyam Parande ji.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and friends. I, as a matter of fact, represent civil society and has very little to do with business and industry. And yet, because I have been working for Diaspora for long, I got this privilege of talking to you. As everybody knows, everybody talks, everybody discusses about Indian diaspora, which is vibrant, which is the most powerful diaspora. In every sense, they have excelled wherever they have gone. Whether they have gone 10 years back, 50 years back, 100 years back, wherever they be, they have not left an area untouched. Not only did they reach out to all the areas, but have excelled in their areas, having achieved top positions. The earlier diaspora, what we call Girmitia or Jahaji Bhai, you know, their logo used to be. Now things are changing technologically and people are giving up their earlier ideas. So their logo used to be a lota and Ramcharitmanas. Ramcharitmanas, obviously, for their cultural roots. And that's what they clung on to keep their culture alive in foreign lands when there were no communications. They were cut off from India for almost 100 years. Nobody was talking to them. And in some parts, like South Africa, you know the situation, what situation was there. So no connect with the motherland, they left. And in such a situation, what they held on to was the lota, and the lota, because when they traveled, they had nothing on them, no material investments, nothing. And wherever they went, might be Fiji, might be Mauritius, might be Malaysia, might be South Africa, might be Reunion, might be the Caribbean countries, Trinidad, Suriname, Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica, or whatever, wherever. They have enriched the lands they adopted, went with nothing except for lota, as I said, and are prime ministers and presidents of those countries now. They do, of course, they are into politics, they are into business, they are into professions. Though Indians now are up to various professions apart from the IT, quote unquote, because Indians are known for the IT revolution, their role in IT revolution. The Girmitia diaspora also did achieve that. So they covered all that. And they are all over there. The rest of the diaspora which migrated post 1947 is more vibrant, more confident, because they had an independent India behind them, and the best of the migration happened post 1990. The IT professionals traveling across the world, and these were not bothered about which country they are going to, how superior, how powerful the countries were. They were all confident because one, their proficiency in technology, and of course the language part also. But many of them, being technologists, never bothered about the language also, and I have met a host of them who even now will not be able to speak fluent English for 15 minutes or 10 minutes also. And yet they're at the top in their companies. So this migration, of course, were confident because of another reason, that their confidence was because of technology, but then they carried their culture on their sleeve. They were not ashamed of their sleeve. Earlier, the first migration were thinking that we should live like the Westerners, behave like them. These guys. तो कनाडा और यूएसए ऑस्ट्रेलिया कहीं लुंगी पहन के लोग मिल गए तो बहुत आश्चर्य नहीं होता है. They are not worried about all that thing, those things. get that confidence. Their contribution to India, of course, is great. And remittances, everybody talks about, it's 3.5%, 135 billion last year. That's what the External Affairs Minister stated. So that powerful they are. And we need to organize all these. We are Indians. We value diversity and we live diversity. But this doesn't end here. Everybody wants to be a leader. And like in India, there are so many forums, there are so many organizations. When somebody from the West or the other world asks how many NGOs are there in India, and when they come to know that it's like 1 million plus, how can it be? That's the population of some of the countries. So everybody is similar. तो वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में जाते हैं तो वहाँ भी दिखाई देता है there are organization, Indian organization based on language, based on caste. Caste has no role over there. And yet, yeah, but why should not we be? And then groups, then temples, then everything. And all that matters a lot. The PIO CCI will have to connect with all of them because everybody is some way or the other is an entrepreneur. Every organization contributes to the well-being of the country they have adopted. They contribute to the economic rise of that country wherever they are. Antarashtriya Sahyog Parishad, which I work for, is working with diaspora for more than 50 years. 50 years, since 1970s. And this organization brings all the leaders together once in a while. Apart from Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, I'm not talking of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, which happened to be starting with Antarashtriya Sahyog Parishad because first non-official Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was held by Antarashtriya Sahyog Parishad, my earlier Secretary General, Sri Baleshwar Agrawal ji, was part of the high-level committee of the Government of India, through which this was started, launched. And that's how Pravasi Bharatiya started. So all these, Indians, they have organizations as many as they can. So हंसने के लिए बता रहा हूँ, one of my seniors traveled to Norway or somewhere in the Scandinavian countries, and when he comes back, hi, how are you going to manage this diaspora? I said, why? See, it has 32 Indian families, that country, and 64 organizations. So that's the way Indians do. Unless and until we build partnerships, we are not going to succeed. We are not going to succeed. And these are the days. Well, the experience that we are seeing even in the wars, the present one, someone thought that he is the most powerful. Doesn't work. Similar, it's similar. The experience has been, unless and until you get into partnerships, you are not going to succeed. And of course, the SDGs also tell, after defining 16, the 17th one tells about partnerships. So we need to concentrate on partnerships amongst these organizations wherever they be. So this is the first one. The second one is the Indian society, is very benevolent society. Now this thing is new to many of our people, even in Bharat. They think that we always used to be self-centric, selfish society. And we were that no time across the history. I also run another NGO called Seva International, which serves locals in 40 countries. And I'm going to talk to you regarding how we serve also. Because we need to understand the diaspora and how they live and how they work. There is something that every Indian can be proud of. You all are aware that during the Ukraine war, there were 25,000 students almost left in Ukraine when the war was launched. And this, of course, government of India had issued a warning, leave the place as early as possible. ME did that. But nobody bothered. Because everybody thought, hey, university में थोड़े होने वाला है, university में थोड़ी bomb गिरता है, कुछ नहीं होता है. We are safe in university. Nothing of that sort happened. It was bombarding all over. And we pressed our volunteers, we pressed the Indian society over there, believe me. It was a miracle. We asked all the restaurateurs, Indian restaurateurs, to open the restaurants for the people who are fleeing the war. And Indian students also amongst them. They opened. Somebody asked me, our organizers over there, hey, who will foot the bill? I said, don't worry, just do that. And they did. And all the restaurants. Then there were hoteliers. We requested them, hey, why don't you provide one night shelter to the fleeing people? They did. And believe me, 4,500 students of Indian origin were supported to get back to their homes in Bharat, India. This is the power. But this did not end there. Watching all this, the Nigerian ambassador in Kyiv, he called one of our organizers. He said, hey, you only will serve the Indian students, not the Africans? Why not Africans? We'll do that. And Seva International did help 1,200 African students from 5 countries to get back to their homes, including Nigeria. And beyond that, they established the volunteers on the European borders in 4 countries: Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Moldova. Established camps on both sides. The fleeing Ukrainians, many of them, because their huts and houses were destroyed, did not have the documents that are required, like passport and anything. Nothing, without nothing. They walked. And our volunteers helped them cross the border, getting their legal documents of refugee status, getting prepared, and then crossing the border. We helped 32,000 Ukrainians to cross the border. That's Indian diaspora. Why not we should be proud of that? But this is, you will say, oh, this happens once in a while. And believe me, we started with 15 volunteers and ended with 350 volunteers on ground base. That's the force we could gather. But this is something that anybody can do, most probably. And they were not trained for war volunteering and all that, because during wars it's very risky and the volunteers have to be properly trained. So that kind of volunteering they did. But even normal time I'll talk about. I just had been to East Africa. I visited 3 countries, of course: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. And Seva International runs or helps education of something like in 32 schools in rural areas of Kenya, not in Nairobi. Nairobi is left to other Indian organizations to serve, and they do. Swaminarayan Temple does, ISKCON does, Gujarati Society does, and many other organizations do. They do go on serving the students over there. But all these rural areas in 32 schools, the students are provided midday meal. Now this is a wonder. You will not understand, or you can even imagine how it changes the life of the families and the students and the school's performance also. When I visited, I was also wonderstruck. What we provide for the midday meal is अपना जो राजमा है ना, ऐसा और बड़ा राजमा होता है, अफ्रीकन राजमा इतना बड़ा है, very nutritious. So that with chawal, rice, rajma and rice, and together with the vegetables. These are cooked in 32 schools and provided to the students every year, 5 days a week, every week throughout the year. Together with that, toilets are constructed because the schools did not have, government schools did not have toilets, and also running water system. So borewell, overhead, everything done, and a library of not textbooks, but general books to read. And in one of the villages, I visited a school where they asked us to interact with a couple of students from 9th standard. I asked one of the students who spoke excellently. He was erudite while we spoke. He spoke for 15-20 minutes together, non-stop. So I asked him, hey man, I thought he has been tutored. पढ़ाया होगा? Tutor किया है इसलिए prepare करके धड़ बोल दिया. So मैंने उसको प्रश्न पूछा. I asked him a question because on the library shelf there was written that knowledge is prosperity. And I asked the boy, who was a 9th standard boy, hey man, what you said is very impressive. You did very well. But tell me, I could not understand this. Knowledge is prosperity. If you have your pocket full of money, you are prosperous. You have a big house, you are prosperous. You have a big car, you are prosperous. You have big business, you are prosperous. You have an industry, you are prosperous. But how is knowledge prosperity? And then he fluently speaks for 15 minutes non-stop and tells us, sir, I am going to, because when we started getting the food, we got our belly full, we got nutritious food, our lives changed, we feel like playing, we feel like coming to classes. The attendance in the classes has increased like 50% plus. So for the first time this change everybody was watching. Of course he was telling while his teachers and principal, in the presence of principal also, they were there. And then he says, look, I am very clear now that I am going to also to be a professor. I'll study, I'll do my PhD, I'll be a professor. I'll train people, students, young students, as many as I can, and tell them how I have been helped, why I am standing here as a professor, and teach them to serve the downtrodden. He spoke for 15 minutes. I was flabbergasted. This is impossible. A 9th standard boy telling me what charity is and how he is going to lead his life to enrich his community, his village, and his nation. How will it be? So that's the change that we bring when our diaspora serves the people across. And that's how the diaspora is. And believe me, I was in South Africa, the last point I talk about. And in South Africa, Durban, we had been serving, Indian society had been serving, Mahatma Gandhi ke zamane se, we are serving the people over there, South Africans, not our community, South Africans, local Zulus and all everybody, the tribes over there. The first service project started in 1920, established in 1920, was run by Arya Samaj, was called Arya Benevolent Home, Arya Benevolent Home. And Arya Benevolent Home serves the destitute, students and kids without parents. They also serve the Divyangas, disabilities, and of course old age home. 105 years they are doing that. But this was not the only thing. One of the sadhus over there, Shivananda Ashram, has built 240 schools for native Africans over there. Without converting anybody, without talking about the religion at all. They did that. And now Chinmaya Mission feeds 7,000 people in slums and villages daily. And a Gujarati family feeds 4,000 people every day round the year. So we all bought all these organizations, 57 of them together, and then because our team was the youngest, Seva International team was the youngest, and all technologists. So they tried to put in or estimate create an estimate how much we do invest, the Indian society invests over there in serving the local society. Believe me, every year, $1 million they serve through. So that's how Indian society is. That's how our diaspora is. And such a diaspora, when look through businesses, all this money came through the Indians, wherever they be, they do that. And they can serve local communities as well as they contribute to the rise of Bharat. As I started with the remittances that they do. So they are a powerful committee, they do a great job wherever they be, and the diaspora is spread to more than 150 countries now. So that's how this power is. We need to put them together, bring them together, create partnerships. PIOCC has to take the lead to get connected to all these organizations across the world, the diaspora organizations, to the advantage of Bharat, to the advantage of those countries where they are staying, living, and try to understand how they contribute to the development of those countries, as well as globally how we can serve better, how we can make this world a better place. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Shyamji, for those inspiring and motivational words, and of course the role of the growing diaspora, I would say the burgeoning diaspora. Government of India says 40 million plus. I say almost 50 million when you start counting some of the people that you'll hear from today. 50 million, 6th generation, 7th generation diaspora around the world. Now I'm going to request our partner, ESC, the CEO and Executive Director, Mr. Gurmeet Singh, to make partner remarks for us. Thank you very much for hosting us, Gurmeet.
A very good morning and namaskar to everyone. As we all know, wherever an Indian goes, India goes with them. The roots, the culture, they carry and they spread it across the world. That one truth is the foundation of everything we are celebrating in this room today. My name is Gurmeet Singh and I am the current CEO and Executive Director of the Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council. We are a body under the Ministry of Commerce with a mandate to promote and support Indian companies and the global companies to come, collaborate, do cooperate and spread the technology across the world. So I am thankful for my dear friend Munish Gupta ji for this collaboration today, and we are honored to have you all with us today. Our special bond with PIO CCI, I think we started a couple of years back, and this is bringing results for all of us, bringing together the people of Indian origin from across the world and spreading the cooperation in technology. When I look around this room, I don't just see the delegates. I see doctors who headed to foreign countries and healed so many clients, so many patients, engineers who built foreign skies, entrepreneurs who carried a dream in one hand and a suitcase in the other, and never once forget where their home was. The Indian diaspora today is rewriting the rules of what's possible in technology, in innovation, in global businesses. Our people are not just participating, they are leading. And what makes this moment so special is that this generation of diaspora is turning around and saying, now let's build together. This is the spirit that PIO CCI was born from, a home for every PIO entrepreneur, investor and change maker across the globe, and that is the mission of ESC has carried for decades, connecting India's technology and software sense to global opportunity. Two organizations, one shared heartbeat, India's growth and India's pride. So today, let us not just attend a session, let's begin a conversation that turns into collaboration and collaboration that turns into legacy. I warmly welcome to all of you, and you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome and look forward to have you with us for another one more day. Make full use of it. Make as many connections that you can, as many as networking that you can do, and wish you all the best of business, limitless opportunities at INDIASOFT. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gurmeet ji. We're making full use of our collaboration. You said a couple of years, I think you might have forgotten, it's more than 3 years. We've gone to JITEX with you, we've been here 3 times, and we hope to travel with you across the world and welcome you and ESC delegations in various parts of the world where we have chapters. In the interest of time, and before I begin before I begin the deliberations, I'll do a little bit of a formality. May I now request Kirti Sharma ji to felicitate our partner Gurmeet ji before he disappears on us. He is very busy. Could you please? Kirti ji is our Secretary General of PIOCCI, and thanking Mr. Gurmeet Singh, Executive Director and CEO, ESC. Thank you. Since we are taking a little bit of a break, let me request also our light member, somebody who represents an important segment of who we are as people and people of Indian origin, as well as the chamber. May I request Renu Sharma ji to come and felicitate Shyamji. And very quickly, may I also request another life member, Lalit Mahajan ji. Is he around? Chalega. Very good. May I request our President, Dr. Aditya Jha, to please felicitate our mentor and patron, who's taking a little bit of a voice rest today. Otherwise, it's lovely to always hear from Professor Rajkumar Bhatia ji. And he constantly guides and mentors and takes a lot of time to give us focus and direction. Thank you, Rajji. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to fast forward this conversation here and the panel discussion here. Very quickly, we are a little short of time. We ran over time for a little break. So may I request, when I tell you, please speak for 5 minutes or 7 minutes, kindly adhere to it, because otherwise I will have to punctuate. The clock's running right in front of me. And don't go away, because you are going to see a lot of people from different parts of the world in this conversation. Thank you very much, Shyamji, for being a part of us and being here today. May I now request our President, Dr. Aditya Jha, who is also a very successful entrepreneur and from the same industry. We're talking about digital transformation. He represents digital transformation from the days that he went to college here and to a very successful entrepreneur that he has become, to please do the opening remarks to set the tone for the discussion later. And sir, may I request you 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you so much, and namaskar to all of you, and welcome. It's always a great privilege to be back in India and meeting and addressing our friends here. Maybe I should have, maybe next one, I will title From Lota to Laptop. So that is the next discussion, listening to Shyamji. I would like to share my thoughts with the background of being the president of the People of Indian Origin Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I would like to change a little bit the title, is that connecting diaspora beyond their borders for powering India's tech. I'll repeat it. Connecting diaspora beyond their borders for powering India tech. For India to become a developed nation by 2047, diaspora can play a significant role, because you see the presence of diaspora in all walks of life and almost all parts of the world. We can play a significant role. And if you do some study, a search, the number of the diaspora, what he mentioned was, I don't think it's 50 million, but nevertheless, whether it's 35 or 40, it's a significant number. More than 2/3 countries of the world, they don't have their country's population as much as what is our diaspora's population. The remittance we receive is in the area of amounts about $150 billion. Even the GDP of the countries, 2/3 countries of the world, their GDP is not $150 billion. So, and with that background, I think what PIO-CCI is trying to attempt, and what is the need of the hour, is a paradigm shift. From remittance, how we can move to investment. And what PIO-CCI is focusing on is the Tier 2 and Tier 3 organizations, Tier 4 organizations. We talk about Google and Microsoft and Adobe and all kinds of big companies. But what would ultimately matter for India is how we are able to bring the Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4s, the Indian diaspora, which is either in a leadership role or a entrepreneurial role, they come to India. It's not that they are going to do favor to India, but if looking at the GDP mix of India, we haven't even touched 30% as export. India is unique, not only in the GDP mix, but population-wise. If your 70%, 72% of your GDP is your internal consumption, we have to move towards building world-class companies. We would need a supply chain, which is a world-class supply chain. Who better than the diaspora groups around the world to come to India? The problem for them is, how will they get the soft landing? There are some challenges in coming to this country. There are some innovations people have to come to this place, and that's where PIO-CCI comes into the play. That how we can lead a soft landing for them, how we can become a Sherpa for these enterprises, Tier 2, Tier 3s. When they come here, it's like it's an uphill climb, and we can become a facilitator for them. We would like to become like a hub and a spoke. That in India, the secretariat we are building, is how we connect to the spokes in different countries of the diaspora. So that's going to be the thing. As much in tech, we are talking about how we are going to build a world-class technology, how we are going to be a leader from India in the world. I was reflecting and I was thinking, why we don't even focus only on India? If we can be a world-class for Indians, in India, by Indians, that itself is a tremendous opportunity. It is, dollar-wise also, it will be phenomenal. What is needed though if we want to be a world leader and you have world-class technology, and if it is very expensive, it's going to be very difficult to adopt. So the frugal innovation should be the focus, because in India we do have a scarcity. We do have the diversity of the needs. So the frugal innovation should be the focus. I remember when I left India, there used to be an organization called Jaipur Foot. Still they are doing a tremendous work. Prosthetics. They did $30, you could get an artificial limb and you could play football. And so same artificial limb, if you had to get in America and other places, it would be in thousands of dollars. So frugal innovation, world-class solutions, bringing, it's not that we develop, come to India and develop, be in your global locales and connect through BIOCCI and do something world-class, first for India, then for Africa, then for Latin America, and then I would think about the Western world. If we can be the leader like this, in this way, that itself will be a tremendous opportunity. So with that, I think in 5 minutes, I finished my remarks. Thank you. Thank you.
That's incredible. I think digital technology people need to and are very good at keeping time. Thank you very much. Before proceeding further, I'd like my colleagues to join me here on the dais. We had a little bit of a limitation, we were playing around with chairs. But I'd like to welcome to the dais. Can you get this chair? Yes. I don't see it. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Mukesh Agarwal, who is the Vice President of PIOCCI. Mukesh ji? Where is Mukesh ji? Mukesh ji, please join us on the dais. Mr. Anup Gupta, Secretary and National Coordinator. He is the one who, in the hub and spoke model, coordinates the national scene. To join us on the dais. Dr. Aditya Jha, may I request you to remain on the dais. Kindly remain with the protocol, sir. And may I also request Anup Mukherjee. Mr. Anup Mukherjee, is he around? Anup Mukherjee, he is the treasurer of PIOCCI, so that you all know who you can deal with, can continue to rely on, can build with, and we'll keep moving forward. Thank you very much. May I now request our next speaker, and the rest of our speakers are people who are visiting from overseas. Of course, so is Dr. Jha, and so am I, so to say. But next speakers in this lineup of speakers are very important people. Some people, all of these people you would love to connect with, love to learn from, love to collaborate with. So first in the lineup is Mr. Prashant Pathak. He is the CEO of Ekagrata. He's the CEO and a business building oriented diversified family company and a principal of In Color Capital Inc. I can say many things about him, but I think what has enchanted me most is his loving smile, embracing attitude, lovely conversations around building businesses and building businesses from scratch. So first in the lineup of our featured speakers visiting here, and also, of course, a life member of PIOCCI is Mr. Prashant Pathak. Please welcome.
Thank you, Manish. And thanks to PIOCCI for having me here. So I think what I can do is, some of you guys know me, you know, when Dr. Jha, Monish and all said I should share some remarks, the best thing I can do is probably try and connect from my experiences 2 or 3 things which may be relevant in terms of, you know, Diaspora Connect and how it drives technology, or for that matter any other kind of, you know, investment. So what I'd done was, over the course of last, I think, day and a half I was with these colleagues, I was picking up some of these notes and what would be relevant for a forum and for attendees like this. So there are three things I wanted to share, which is generally diasporas do quite well from a technological, economic development, whatever you want to call it, standpoint, if they have three things going for them, or they have three things going themselves. The first is having an instinct for prosperity. The second one is a comfort for what I'll call contextual intelligence. And then the third thing is a disposition towards what I call genetic memory, or an ability for genetic adaptation. And I'll try and unpack these in fairly simple, what I would call animal analogies, because generally I use them because animals are much more purer with their instincts than human beings because of all the distractions we have. So the first thing is, if you think about migrations, diaspora movement, the Arctic tern is fascinating. This is a bird. Of course, it's got a name called the Arctic tern in it. So like an Indian diaspora, you talked about the Hindu diaspora or whatever. The key thing is, this is an either north or south bird. It's neither the Arctic or the Antarctic. It travels 45,000 kilometers every year for a migratory journey. But why is it relevant for diaspora? It's relevant for diaspora and risk takers and investors is because these birds are always chasing what I call fertile ecosystems. They chase the summer from the Arctic to the Antarctic every year. They chase food, and they see the maximum amount of daylight of any living thing on the planet. I think it's important for the diaspora entrepreneurs to be having that kind of a mentality, which is a propensity to pursue a fertile ecosystem. And I'll give you an example.
लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकोनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग।
Finding a way to get traction in an environment. Very, very typical for most diaspora entrepreneurs, most diaspora individuals, or I think the gentleman here talked about open society, the civil society that goes out there, to be finding traction in those smooth environments. And often you have to balance that quite proactively, similar to the analogy that you see in these gecko lizards. Why is that relevant? It's relevant because if you see how Zipline grew, as a technology company or as an investment, the advancements for UAVs was happening in America, but the regulatory requirement was highly constrained. When the regulatory requirement is highly constrained, if you are a smart diaspora entrepreneur, you will break out of it and say, where else can I take this and make it happen? Whether you talked about BRICS or India, I think they had a session in the morning. In the case of Zipline, the technology comes out of the US, but where does the commercialization happen? The world's most advanced UAV delivery company is a Rwandan company. Just give it a thought, which is because they were able to adapt themselves to the notion that we'll go into a regulatory environment for delivery of medicines and blood and organs and things of that nature, where there's a felt need for it. So really having a very keen sense of contextual intelligence. And the third thing is really, as I said, genetic memory adaptation, and the best example for any diaspora, whether it's the Indian diaspora all over the world or anywhere, is what I call the salmon run. You know, the salmon start out in the ocean, salt water, and then they end up in the fresh water. Why is that interesting for most diasporas? Is because very few individuals have the benefit to be boundary spanning across very different operating environments. Survive, thrive in an ocean environment and can bring those capabilities into a global to a very specific local knowledge becomes very, very important in how perspective or the discussions we had in terms of boundary spanning problems that may happen in a developed part of the world to the developing part of the world. The other thing which is very interesting is why is the whole salmon thing fascinating from a diaspora perspective? The salmon are nutrition pumps. What do you mean by that? When they come from the ocean into the stream, what are they doing for the stream, for the local environment? They're bringing in nitrogen, phosphorus, and those kind of things as nutrients for the local market environment. And that's an important thing. Like, you know, most entrepreneurs, most investors I look at, and I've had this very critical view, is they are not generally nutrition pumps. They are extractors out of the local environment. And the question is, if you genuinely want to build a diasporic ecosystem that goes back to an instinct for prosperity, you will have to be contributing to the local environment, a bit like what the salmons do. So I'll pause there. I think I've given you these three perspectives which are very different. Manishji, I'm not sure if you're expecting this, but there's a huge responsibility versus a notion of how do I exploit or take back from the system. Thanks.
Yeah, a second. Thank you very much. I didn't realize that we would get such profound words from you, but thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge and information with us. But before you leave, I'm going to ask Dr. Aditya Jha to please felicitate Mr. Prashant Pathak. He's also a life member, and he oscillates between US, Canada, India, and many other parts. In the middle there.
The gold medalist from IIT.
Continuing our featured speakers, I think Dr. Ramesh Kausi is next from France. He's promised to learn Hindi from next year, but he's originally from Mauritius and then grew up in France, and he is a transformational AI leader. He's visiting here especially he's now a part of PIOCCI, of course, and we have motivated him to hopefully start the France chapter. But let me ask Dr. Ramesh Kausi to please share his views, what he brings to the table here to this conference, and how he sees collaboration between the diaspora and India. Dr. Ramesh Kausi.
Namaste. Thank you, Muniji. So after the speech of Prashant, I feel like a salmon. So maybe I can reorient my speech to stick to his point, because I believe what he said is really true. So I am part of the diaspora. I am a PIO, and probably you recognize my accent. I am from France. And what I did in France, I've got a scientific background, and I'm specialized in artificial intelligence. And what I did during the past years is that I've created an AI that is based on the bio-inspiration. What does it mean? It means that we are trying to learn from the nature. We're trying to understand why the nature, why human beings are so performant, burning not a lot of energy. For example, our intellectual capabilities require the consumption of 20 watts. If you look at today at ChatGPT, They're using 500,000 watts to perform the service. So it means that us human beings, we have the intelligence to do performance with low energy consumption. And this kind of innovation was brought in a robot. Bio-inspired AI plus a new robot managing energy. And it was the first worldwide, and I give the name of DIA because I am a PIO to this robot that was recognized by the G20. So this is an example where PIOs, by using their inspiration, their cultural background, I try not just to develop innovation, but to think about the world. And because in India, we know what scarcity means. So we know what frugality means. But now, when we innovate, if we do frugality by design, instead by doing frugality by necessity, this is where we can leapfrog the world with our minds, but also our technology. And again, as a good analogy, I've worked with a French lab, with different European partners to develop this technology. And now, the next step is to bring this sovereign AI infrastructure back to India and to share not only the knowledge, but the innovation with the Indian ecosystem, with the local ecosystem. And India is so big that India itself is a huge ecosystem playing with the world. So again, to the question of Monish, what can India diaspora brings? It's about technology, it's about science, but it's also about cultural model. And let me give you a clear example of that capability. Today, the whole world is looking at Gen AI, is looking at ChatGPT. Why? Because in just a few days, they reach more than 1 million users, which is a fantastic performance. And the idea beyond that is the idea of singularity. It means one curve showing how technology is going to be extremely performant. And this is an American model. Everyone knows Ray Kurzweil with this industry. And he's a very brilliant man. But as a scientist with an Indian culture and background, I see that we have other lengths to see the world. And where people see one curve, if we use, for example, the Yuga model, we can see three curves that are extremely important. The first one is technology power. Okay, we see this is an exponential, nothing to say. But the other curve that's very important to see is first the curve of human integration capabilities. How fast can we learn? Technology is going very fast, but us as human beings, how fast can we learn? What does it mean if technology is going fast, and us as human beings, our integration curve is so slow? So we need to monitor that. There's another curve that we need to monitor. This is the planet boundary curve. Because we are burning the planet today, you know, all the frontiers that have been defined by Rockstrom and its team, we are about to overpass them. And today in 2026, we already overpassed 7 boundaries, which is just not possible for the planet. So then if you take these 3 curves, if you put that into an analytical framework, then you see what we call the Yuga gap. And if India, as I hope, is able to make a good exploitation of the civilizational lengths, then India is going to be a leader within the AI industry. And we all know that AI and technology, this is part of the next story. So what can, again, India diaspora brings is to help us to keep the memory alive, you know, to take again the word of Prashant. Yes, we have this memory, we have this emotional legacy with India, but it's because it's fruitful for the new world. So it's about civilization model, it's about technology, and it's also about connectivity, connection. In India, we know when you grow up with this idea of scarcity, try to make good use of available resourcing, you know how much it is important to play as a team. And I'm so proud today to talk with young guys, young souls, with amazing technologies from Netherlands, from Australia. And my dream is that we're creating a network, as PIOs of friends able to bring innovation and technology to India and from India to the whole world. So with these 5 to 7 minutes that Munish allowed me today, and it's very short, I've got much more to add and much more to say. Because, for example, the fact that we are based in Europe, let's take a concrete example. You see that Emmanuel Macron is coming now very regularly to talk with Prime Minister Modi. It's about creating a bridge between Europe and India. But also it's about creating a force that is between the US and China. So you see that also the geopolitical agenda is very high, and PIOs have also a role, because we're about to create this bridge, this India-Tech bridge with France and Europe. So this is a concrete project. I see Munish is standing up now, so I have to go faster. So there's a lot to say, but yes, PIOs can do a lot with India, for the global world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Kausi, and the time is short, but we will have the rest of today and tomorrow for all of you to interact with him and with everybody else here. May I please request our Vice President, Mukesh Agarwalji, to felicitate Dr. Ramesh Kausi. Ramesh, please go in the middle of this thing. And the reason Mukeshji is doing that is Mukeshji is an Africanist at heart. He keeps visiting Mauritius all the time, and Dr. Kausi is from Mauritius, so I couldn't find a better link. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mukeshji. Thank you, Dr. Kausi. Moving on, may I now request, we are running short of time, but may I now request another featured speaker, and glad that he could attend and come all the way from New Zealand, is Mr. Edwin Paul. He is the chair of the India-New Zealand Business Council and a technology entrepreneur in the education technology sector. He has built and led innovative edtech ventures focused on digital learning and skills development. Edwin also brings a strong background in technology and entrepreneurship and international business. He was a part of the Raisina Dialogue last year. Featured speaker, may I please request, I keep looking at the clock because I want to give everybody a time. Edwin, 5 minutes are yours.
Thank you, Manishji, for the lovely welcome. Distinguished guests on the dais and in the auditorium. My name is Edwin Paul. I'm originally from Madras, Chennai. I moved to New Zealand in 2000 and been active in the India-New Zealand business space for the last 17 years. So there is a lot of connection. I've been hearing from exemplary speakers, so I wouldn't want to talk about tech or my expertise in that area, but I'm just going to talk about my experience in that area. So I started my tech journey when I was in my 10th standard in a school called Vanavani within IIT Madras, where I learned basic on a ZX Spectrum. Most of you wouldn't know about it. But the interesting thing was Sundar Pichai was my classmate. So he was a techie and became who he became. I'm a non-techie and I tried to do my business on the other side, right? So, but other than that, if you look at my LinkedIn profile or the introduction I shared in the WhatsApp group, I kind of identify myself as a voyeur of the future, right? So I love everything that's happening, going to happen 5 years ahead at least. So I'm pretty bored with what's happening. So I always look at what's trending, what's going to be happening next. So those are things. So I'm fascinated by how energy and the tech and the space that we all play in. So in terms of my role here today, I stand here as the chairman of the India-New Zealand Business Council, which is a 30-year-old organization. And This is my third term on the board. The chairmanship is not a role that I chose, that I enjoy, but it came on to me as a mantle. But it came at a very significant time when we have an FTA that's being signed between India and New Zealand. So what that does is that it removes all the barriers that used to exist for business to happen between India and New Zealand. So especially in the tech space. So, and also in terms of Indians in New Zealand who've been championing this relationship over the last couple of decades, there are some very illustrious Indians who are leading in that tech space. So I'd like to call out on a couple of them, primarily one, Mr. Mahesh Muralidhar, one of the founding members of Canva, and he is now a tech investor and is also getting into active politics. So in terms of Indians and the PIOs moving into that space, right? And there is sorry, that is quickly referred. We also have Mr. Ravi Shankar, who's the the CEO of one of New Zealand's most famous brands, Air New Zealand, our national airline. So he is again a techie who did his degree in, did his university in New Zealand, but originally from Bangalore. So people like such PIOs who lead this space have supported the FTA and have made this possible. So I'll try and keep it short. So my invitation to you all, for those of you who are wanting to engage with New Zealand, please hit upon me or Sunil, our CEO, and we are happy to help you facilitate. New Zealand is a small country, but it's a high-value country, right? So we deal in, we have the second biggest rocket company after, SpaceX. We've got Rocket Lab. So things like that. So very unique niches. So don't want to take much of your time on the dais, but quite happy to engage with you over the next couple of days. And that's me. Thank you.
I also want to introduce his colleague from New Zealand and our long-standing supporter member, Sunil Kaushal. Please come up. Come up. In the interest of time, please keep walking up and saying and doing what we have to do. May I now request Anup Mukherjee and to please felicitate Edwin. And Anup Gupta ji to please felicitate Sunil Kaushal. आइए सुनील जी. Our next featured speaker, so that he can line up and be ready, is Mr. Sandeep Bhalekar from Australia. He's the CEO of the Global Institute of Artificial Intelligence. He's a respected AI strategist, author, and technology leader known for helping organizations make sense of one of the most important shifts of our time. I'll leave it at that and let him explain the rest.
Thanks everyone, and thanks for the Diaspora and the jury members here. How many of you are using basically AI? How many of you are expert users of AI? Maybe ChatGPT you must have used. Okay, so quite a few people, we have some users here. And how many of you think that AI is going to take your jobs? Not many. So you see, I mean, there is a misconception, right? AI is going to take over the world. The thing is, AI is going to change the way we are basically doing our day-to-day work. It's going to change the pace at which we operate. It's going to change the way we do our standard operating procedures. But one thing which is probably, what I think my friend Ramesh also spoke about is the governance, right? So AI needs to be governed. We don't want AI to operate in a way where it is not governed. Currently, all the world, all bigger companies, larger companies, they are working on building AI. And what GI of AI, my company at Australia, what we are doing is basically trying to create the standards which are going to govern AI. So these standards obviously are very much required. And GI of AI is Australia's largest AI community. More than 100,000 people are associated with us. So when I started this company, obviously not only we are talking about Diaspora, we are talking about taking the India stake across the borders, but at the same time, when our students they go and study in abroad countries, there is a genuine problem they face, like they don't have the right resources, and they are obviously on the student loan, going there and trying to find a feet in the foreign countries. Those countries are not supporting them. So what we are doing in Australia with GI of AI, the largest AI community in Australia, is giving them the platform where they can obviously upskill themselves, learn about how they can create careers in data and AI. And that is what is probably needed by Diaspora across the globe. Ramesh is obviously doing the similar thing in France. I'm doing it in Australia, and I'm pretty sure that people like PIOs across the globe, they are doing something similar. So we are talking about creating companies. We are trying to create like an enterprise, but at the same time, as a moral responsibility, governance is quite important, and we need to create governance. We need to create ecosystem for our future generations, where they can not only take this technology, not only take this AI, but also create the careers in a strategic manner, which can obviously benefit the entire diaspora. So apart from that, I would like to just talk about my own background. So I came from NIT Allahabad. I studied from NIT Allahabad in electrical engineering. Did most of my career was in Southeast Asia. I was vice president for Bank of America in Singapore. And while all doing that, I got an opportunity to move to Australia. And it's funny, I talk about it today because it's all being resourceful, right? When you are in a foreign country, being resourceful is very, very important. And when I was in Australia, all of a sudden COVID started. And I figured out what I was doing in the banking was obviously AI, trying to do the anti-money laundering or fraud detection. And the similar skills could be used for COVID detection. So I was the one who actually created the COVID data model for Australian health system. So all the lockdowns came in Australia, they came from the system I built. And while doing that, I have figured out how this can impact not only the lives, but also the careers. And probably that's what I can suggest, that in future what we have to do is create AI which has a lot of governing body, have good governance across AI, and create careers which can not only be sustainable but also beneficial to humankind. And obviously PIOs are doing pretty much the same, and I look forward for doing the same as well. So thanks a lot for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. Another, as you've seen, a young PIO, pathbreaker, trailblazer. I'm going to change the sequence here a little bit. Go to the middle there. I'm going to invite the youngsters to felicitate youngsters. So may I now invite Subhidip Sharma, is he here? Meet and greet and work with each other, collaborate, cooperate. Come up quickly, Subhidip. You can run. And may I now, while all this is going on, please give the bag. I want a branded picture with the bag too, please. PIOCCI. May I now request Mohit Chaturvedi. He is a senior solutions architect from Smart DCC UK. He's got 22 years of experience driving large-scale digital transformation across telecoms, smart energy and national infrastructure ecosystems. He's visiting us from UK. He's going to be a part of what PIOCCI is creating as a UK chapter. Welcome, Mohit. You have 4 minutes. I'm cutting it down. Please. Talking about the guys.
Thank you. Thank you, dignitaries on stage. And I will speak less about me because already shared. I work in smart metering, worked in health sector, telecom, and defense. I'm here from UK, and it is an invite for all the Indian entrepreneurs and startups to come there on the back of what Keir Starmer has quoted. It is the biggest shift post-Brexit, what we have trade agreement between British government and India, which opens up a lot of doors to Indian software and electronics manufacturers. Right now, the services exports are around 20 billion pounds per annum, going projected doubled in 2030, and that's where the IOCCI will come in a picture. We are there for you. We'll help you to land there. We will help you to establish your business there, guide you, and that's where all the PIOCCI members are anchors for you to go across the globe. We strongly believe Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and that's where we follow that rule. Thank you.
That's incredible. May I now request another one of our young members, Adhar Gupta, to come and felicitate Mohit Chaturvedi. Mohit, please. Quickly, youngsters, you're part of the new change. Adhar, the PIOCCI bag in the picture. This bag is traveling 100,000 miles starting tomorrow. Next up, another very special person, a young man from the diaspora families. He's 5th generation, families from Suriname moved to Netherlands. Our mentor and patron Shamji talked about it, a Girimitia diaspora family. Amar Ramdas, he's a creator of Alpha platform. Amar Ramdas is the founder of ASRR, an innovative software company based in the Netherlands, Europe, specializing in solutions for complex operational systems. He has operations in Europe and Latin America. Founded over a decade ago, ASRR develops platforms that help organizations automate, unify their business processes. Listen, off the record, I'm going to say something. His business partner and his great friend, I leave it at that, Miss Lotte is also visiting us from Netherlands. And no pictures, guys, but she has the qualification of also being the current Miss Netherlands, an IT professional with Amar Ramdas. But Amar, I invite you for your remarks.
Hello everyone, I'm Amar Ramdas. I own a tech company in the Netherlands, and while we focus mostly on bringing innovation to very traditional companies, and there we see a lot of opportunities to connect, first of all, the technological advancements that we find in the people of the diaspora, and also we can bring information back into India by the things we learn. What I think is a great opportunity is that we, as a diaspora, we have a lot of people that have a well-established network in all of the countries that we reside in. So we can use that to bridge between, well, technology here and clients there. And also I think that we can bring back a lot of the information and the technology that we produce over there to see how we can help India. I hope we can maybe form some bridges here. That's it.
Thank you very much. Don't go away. I would like Aditya ji to felicitate Amar. And counting. Listen, we'll get 5 minutes from the previous session, right? Next up, and we're going to go through this very quickly, is somebody who's the chapter president of PIOCCI in Australia, also a tech entrepreneur and a dear friend, and he motivated also Sandeep to come on board and join us at this conference, is Amit Nandlaskar. 3 minutes, Amit.
Thank you, Munishji. I've just got 2 watches here, especially for that. But really honored to be here today. Thank you, ESC and PIOCCI for inviting for this great panel discussion and obviously for the entire expo. I'm very fortunate here. Firstly, we've got a lot of dignitaries here on the platform today, on the stage today here. So my fellow office bearers of PIOCCI. And along with that, very special Raj Kumar Bhatia ji. So we share our Vidyarthi Parishad background, and he's been a mentor along with Shyam Parande ji. I think he just left. So very, very fortunate for that company. Along with that, also some of our portfolio companies are here. Manoj Matai, he's the founder of Infonio. It's a Delhi-based company. Obviously, Sandeep Bhalekar, who spoke, so you know about him. We got a couple of other friends from INDIASOFT and Ritesh ji from Australia. So we got a great delegation from Australia. So I'm really proud that we are all here, spend time with you, and work in terms of what PIO Diaspora has to offer. And I'll just leave with few particular points in terms of what a great platform ESC and PIOCCI is. Does anybody knows? I think there was numbers mentioned before. How many PIOs overall globally today? What's the number? How many people of Indian origin, NRIs, etc.? Government of India says 32 million, right? Something, and you mentioned 40, 50 something. So you just imagine the power of Indian diaspora globally, and that's across most of the countries, and how many unicorns we have going out of India, the global unicorns. How many unicorns in India? I think in Unicorn India is about 120 unicorns, but how many global companies we produce? So there is a lot of gap to be filled. I'm really proud that, we picked up that 3-4 years ago. We got a platform called Innovesta, which helps founders, startups to go global. Along with that, we have a venture studio program. We also do capital fundraising. So we funded more than 20 startups. We've consulted to more than 90 startups along with me. My brother, who happens to be one of the top investment bankers in India. He's with Angel One. We also have a platform. So along with that, we have a platform called NRI Angels. And we've been very fortunate. We've been running that in Australia and India. We've connected over 200 CIOs of all backgrounds. Plus we have more than 200 Indian investors. So investors of Indian background globally, which are HNIs, industrialists, and we are working with them very proactively to invest in startups or scale-ups of Indian origin and founders of Indian origin. Along with that, we also work with these business houses to go global, bring the best of platforms like what PIOCCI, ESC, and other organizations have to offer. I would love to connect with you if you have any more more information to get on these topics, and I look forward to mingle with you over the next few days. Thank you again, PIOCCI and Munishji. It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
May I now request our live member Prasenjit Singh, is he here? To please felicitate Amit. Quickly. Thank you. I don't think I missed out on any of our foreign delegates. Welcome, other people. I guess the next session is already here. So we are talking about the people of Indian origin around the world. As potent a force as India, when you combine the knowledge powers of the two, then it becomes a unique force around the world. We are heading to the close of the session, and I think we are very well in time. But before we close, I just wanted to have a little bit of a footnote. All of our members from India and those who have traveled from around the world are staying through today and tomorrow, will be available here, and you can approach any one of them or us to mingle with them, network with them, work with them, collaborate with them. There are others that we have invited who are special friends of PIOCCI who will also be here, so feel free to mingle with them. I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Anup Mukherjee, to give concluding remarks before I ask my other colleague to give the vote of thanks. Mr. Anup Mukherjee, whatever you've drawn from the session, keep it short and brief.
Thank you, Manishji. And with my all regards to the dignitaries of the dais and dignitaries in the audience, with all protocols observed. These kinds of sessions are very useful that we can learn what is happening around. And as I talk of myself, I'm with PIOCCI since the foundation, and I'm responsible for all the compliances. I used to call myself as an expert chartered accountant, but when I've attended sessions like this, I've stopped calling me as an expert, but I call myself now a professional learner. Because these sessions help us to learn, and our target is let us walk together, learn together, and let us grow together. And with that objective, I think the diaspora and the Indian businessmen, we have to hold hands together and grow forward. That's all. And if anybody has a question about PIOCCI, its rules, regulations, membership, etc., I'm here. And I can address that. Thank you.
Sometimes we have to break protocol. Sometimes I break protocol. I'm a media guy, and sometimes I don't care, because I need to thank people who have made this happen, who have given us encouragement, who support us all day long, sitting at the secretariat, guiding us, throwing things which make things happen, and giving me the liberty to curate and create this session today, which I'm so glad happened, because we came together from different parts of the world. So I will take this opportunity to thank my two very eminent President Dr. Aditya Jha and the Secretary General Mr. Kirti Sharma. So I will do the honors of felicitating you, sir.
सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह, और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। और क्रिकेट से
my co-committer as secretary of the national coordinator of PIOCCI, who keeps a tough and a tight hand on India, Anup Gupta, to give the vote of thanks. It's a request on my behalf to all the PIOCCI members, whether they are from India or from around the world, to not go away after this session, but to please come forward. We'll take a group picture. And Lotte, you're invited too, so yeah, I will. Anup ji will give his vote of thanks, but I don't think today would have happened without a few people. Let me introduce to you someone that you can always go to and look to for joining PIOCCI, getting support at the PIOCCI Secretariat in the Ashoka Hotel. Somebody who has joined us recently but is quickly catching pace with us. is Ms. Vijaya Talwar. Please stand. She is the Deputy Director of PIOCCI. She is based in the office. Please do collect her business card, very important business card. I see Mr. Veer Sagar in the audience. Thank you very much, Veerji, again for this session that you allowed us to have here. Anupji, I welcome you for the vote of thanks. And after that, all PIOCCI people, please do not go away. We'll take a picture right here.
Namaskar to all. It is a great honor to get this privilege to thank you all. First of all, on behalf of PIOCCI, office bearers and members, I thank our mentors, Shri Shyam Pandey ji, Professor Rajkumar Bhatia ji, all dignitaries from abroad, Shri Prashant Shankar Pathak, Dr. Ramesh Kase, Mr. Sandeep Bhalekar, Mr. Amit Nandalaskar, who is our life member also, Mr. Mohit Chaturvedi, Mr. Amar Ramdas, Mr. Sunil Kaushal, and Mr. Paul Edwin. We thank you, all of you, and we the big thanks to ECS, who has given us this chance to celebrate this program, especially Mr. Gurmeet Singh, who is CEO and Executive Director of ESC. And thank you all. Thanks a lot.
So please, including Smithal, I see Smithal here somewhere, please come up, all of you, including Vijaya, please come up, and all of those who are potential members of PIOCCI, Saurabh, you come up too. All the PIOCCI, Renuji, all the young members, please, Suvidit, bring everybody. Renuji, आप ऊपर आए, आगे आए. You know, we were supposed to take 5 minutes that we lost to the previous session, but we're giving you 4 minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you all for attending. And thank you again, Veerji, for letting us have this session. Wonderful.
Better angles, don't miss. This Sunday, the power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet, download the app now. Big hits, better angles. Don't miss this Sunday. The power is in your hands. Toggle between our 2-camera setup for a 360-degree view of every ball instant fame. Clip that a massive 6 and share it. Seconds Criconet. Download the app
अपने
now.
गेम के स्टार गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या
हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का टाइम है। कॉल आया, मैच को पॉज कीजिए और वहीं से फिर शुरू कीजिए। देखिए मैच हर एंगल से। अब अपने मन पसंदीदा शॉट के हाइलाइट डाउनलोड कीजिए सिर्फ एक टैप में। क्रिकोनेट, क्रिकेट आपके कंट्रोल में। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ देखना ही नहीं, अब क्रिकेट का मजा जीने का
वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ अब एक ही जगह। और हाँ, अपने फेवरेट शॉट्स के हाइलाइट्स डाउनलोड करना भी बिल्कुल इजी। अब क्रिकेट सिर्फ खेलो मत, इसे लाइव भी करो। डाउनलोड क्रिकोनेट ऐप और बन जाओ अपने गेम के स्टार। गली क्रिकेट हो या लोकल टूर्नामेंट, अब हर मैच बनेगा लाइव। वेलकम टू क्रिकनेट ऐप, जहां आप देख सकते हैं अपनी लोकल मैचेस की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग। ग्राउंड बुकिंग हो या प्रोफेशनल कोचिंग, सब कुछ